What's up, guys? I run a productivity and accountability firm over at actionempires.com, and I started this channel, Hey Jeneth, because I got so many client questions that are like, hey Jeneth, I have a question about this. Today we are going to talk about avoiding burnout and boredom. And I actually mesh them together because that is really how our brain works. These two things that seem totally different actually do mesh together. And I don't think a lot of people realize it. We are going to talk about 7 things to change the cycle of boredom. I will often say when I'm talking to clients, it's always just a choice. And sometimes you have to do a few other things to really make that choice. So here are the number one thing is you've got to have variety. Variety within your work and variety within your life. I mean, I don't think that this is rocket science by any means, but I think sometimes people get so excited, and I call this a passion burnout cycle with my clients. And I think they get so excited that all they do, they put 100% what will it take into their work. Well, that's great, but it's not sustainable. So vary your activities. As an online entrepreneur, sometimes I will work on the newsletter. Sometimes I'll work on opt-in pages. Sometimes I'll have coaching clients. Sometimes I'll just work on social media. And I arrange my days so that every single day has a different focus. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't do a little bit of the newsletter on the days that I'm doing client work. But you do need to be intentional about your time. If your energy goes down after an hour of work or 2 hours of work in the morning, think of things that entertain you. Maybe a game, maybe you time your activities, play. Maybe you need to pop in a headphone in your ear for 10 minutes and listen to something super inspiring. So that's my number one tip. Variety, please. Because that's the only way you're going to grow something big and something sustainable. I shared a video a couple weeks ago about how to make a decision. And one of the questions in it is it going to be fun, right? Like, is this something that's going to give me more life? And I'll put a link below if you want to watch that video. The second thing is have a why behind your work. So if you're going to school to become something greater, like, know the purpose of really why you've chosen that. If you want to be a financial advisor, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a chiropractor, right? Like, what is the why behind why you have chosen that work? And then you can pull on that future vision so that you can add some juice to your today life. Number 3 is the awareness and requests. I know it sounds silly, but sometimes when you start to hit boredom or burnout, or however you want to call it, sometimes you just need to have this kind of question mark in your head that's like, I've noticed that my passion for this or my desire for this is kind of waning. Like, you know what? Instead of just avoiding things and doing procrastination or even passive procrastination, which I'm queen at, someday I'll do a video about that. When you have that awareness of, hey, you know what? I'm going into burnout. Then I say for clients, okay, great. So this is where you make a request, right? Ask questions about it. Ask questions of others about it. Like, look around you, because, I am a big fan of following the energy and following the energy of consciousness. And I really innately love asking questions so that curiosity can pull in a greater change. So awareness and request. Number 4 is, like, check yourself, right? Am I still eating well? Am I sleeping well? Am I, avoiding habits? Or am I actually really being present with myself? Am I still moving? And if I haven't moved in 3 days, like true movement for 30 plus minutes, you need to get some sort of movement in. Whatever it is that moves the energy within your body, which moves the energy within your mind. Maybe it drops the energy from that high vigilance system, and it just changes the world. It's absolutely incredible. Number 5, rest your brain. I mean, this isn't rocket science, but people forget to do it. People also forget to calendar in things to get their environment changed, to get them going out with different people, to get them doing totally different things. Whenever you do something new, that amps up your dopamine button. It changes how you see things. So when you gallivant off to the beach and don't even think about work or what you're doing or even what you're planning to do. I think as a visionary person, I often think about what I'm doing next, or I try to play with ideas that might grow things and grow different brands and other people's brands even. I mean, working with entrepreneurs, you see how I can often see what I'm like, this is an idea for this person. It's also really important to really rest, really, really rest. Number 6, this is kind of an interesting one because it's almost like people don't even realize that they're doing it. I invite you to look at the pains and struggles that you have in your life. Time, it's usually my thing that I work with people on. Money, family, relationships. I mean, these are all pains or struggles in your world. And if you can actually try to not get a remedy or a fix for the pain, but actually invite in and ask and request questions to beyond that, right? Not like just what would change this, but really what am I not seeing, or what am I not aware of that if I was aware of this, it would change everything. Bring out a notebook and start writing down whatever comes to your mind. One of the things in my very first program, the very first thing that I have them do is for 5 minutes, they have to write the entire 5 minutes. I ask them, what do you wish was different in your life? And then I just make them write. And if they don't know what to say, I have them write. I don't know what else there is. I don't know what else to say. And then usually something else will come up. And when you let your brain just go like that, there's a stream of consciousness that comes out that is just beautiful. And we can use that as a guide to create and get them clear on their path, right? Get them clear on their various milestones and their next visions and other things like that. There's a little task and a tool for you. I also will share with you my productivity quiz at the very end of this so that you can see kind of your overall archetype of how your brain thinks as far as productivity goes. And it gives you a productivity personality, and then it gives you a few tips on should you do things more on the computer, should you do more things on pen and paper, do you think more organically where there's little bubbles floating around. It'll give you little tips like that. I'll also give you a link to Clear the Noise, which is like a $27 program that we have that, I've gotten testimonial after testimonial on how it actually allows you to acknowledge your noise and really change the pressure and noise so that you can create from a kind of a calmer, vigilant system. Number 7. Now, this might be like the whole theme of everything, right? From variety all the way down to cycle. Notice when you're in a passion burnout cycle. Usually when you are like so hyper manic in creation, that's a clue that you may need to schedule time to rest. You may need to schedule time to check yourself and all these other things above. You may need to, add variety so that you can have space to let this create in more of a sustainable way. One of the things that I'll talk about in another video, I already have it planned, is the difference between like active procrastination, where you are literally avoiding something because you are in burnout or boredom, versus a passive procrastination, which can actually help you get other things done, but it can also help you just kind of take a subtle rest in the brain so that when you get back into momentum of really creating, you're really there. And you can kind of play with, maybe even I've given you enough information where you can look at, okay, am I passively procrastinating or am I actively procrastinating? Is it related to boredom or burnout? Or is it, something totally different? Procrastination is usually a fear. You can look at it to see what that is for you. If you enjoyed this video, and if you have a Hey Jeneth productivity question where you're getting stuck and slowed down about something, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, right? It'll give you the reminders of our premieres, and let us know. I forgot to turn on the other video. Well, all right, well, with that being said, I will say goodbye.